Browns traveling to New Orleans to take on the Saints at the Superdome Sunday at 1 o'clock. Let's do some things to watch, and then we'll make our picks. Mary Kay, what are you watching?
I am watching Jameis Winston going back to New Orleans, where he played the previous 4 seasons before he came here. He talks very glowingly about the fact that he spent 1 season there with Sean Payton and future Hall of Famer Drew Brees. He learned so much from both of those guys, especially Drew Brees, who taught him about being a quarterback, how to study film, and really just how not to make that bad play. He followed that up with 14 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions in the 2021 season en route to a 5-2 record. So it really helped him a lot. He's so eager to go back and play well.
Ashley, what about you?
I'm curious to see if this Browns defense can change a troubling trend here. We've been talking to guys about it all week. It's the lack of takeaways. They only have 5 this year, but more specifically, they still only have 1 interception, and it's not from any of their DBs. It's from linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah 6 weeks ago against the Washington Commanders. So they've been disruptive. They've been almost making these plays. Denzel Ward leads the NFL with 15 passes defense. So I'm curious to see after the bye if they can come out and get some of those game-changing interceptions. And
I'm going to watch the run game. Of course, Nick Chubb, another game back. He's coming off the bye, so maybe a chance to kind of rest up that knee after really having to put more into it than he has recently, having to actually play some real football games. So let's see how Nick looks now coming off the bye. And, of course, Jerome Ford is healthy, so see if a little more, some versatility in that run game, if they can find that. Pierre Strong is an option. Deontay Foreman is an option as well. We'll see who's active and who's not. But getting this run game going, I think, is going to be important. So now it's time to make our picks for Sunday's game. I can't really get a feel for this game. This is obviously 2 teams that have been very disappointing all season. The Browns at 2-7, the Saints at 3-7? Yeah, 3-7 for the Saints. So 2 very disappointing football teams. I'm going to give the edge to the Saints, mostly because this game is in New Orleans. This is one of those games I could just see going either way. I think it's going to come down to the final possession or 2. I'm going to pick the Saints 21-18. Ashley, what are you picking?
Well, I agree with you, Dan. I do think it could go either way, which is why I think it's important for it to not be a clean sweep for the cleveland.comers here. So I'm actually going to pick the Browns. It has less to do with me having a good feeling about the Browns and really more me not really having that good feeling about the Saints right now, knowing how banged up they've been. And there's also the fact that Kevin Stefanski Browns teams are 3-1 after their bye weeks. Their lone loss came in 2022 after their bye against the Dolphins on the road. So, hey, maybe history's on their side. Maybe it's not, considering they lost a game going down south after the bye week the last time. But I think it's going to be a weird, close game. Anything could happen. I'm going to go Browns 17-14.
Mary Kay, what are you picking?
Well, Dan, I'm with you. All week, I have just had the feeling that this is one of those games that it will be difficult for the Browns to go on the road into a very loud environment and win this football game against a team that is playing lights out for its interim coach right now, their special teams coordinator, Darren Rizzi. And they won last week against the Falcons, a team that they weren't supposed to win. And the key thing for me, though, is the turnover differential. The Saints are 4th in the NFL with 12 interceptions, and we know that Jameis is a little pick prone, and we know those defensive backs in New Orleans are going to want to take advantage of that, and I think that the game is going to come down to that turnover differential. For that reason, I'm picking the Saints 24-20.
Okay, well, whatever happens in New Orleans, we will cover it at cleveland.com/Browns.